If I had 30 days to regrow my hair, this is exactly what I would do. So if your hairline is getting weak or you're starting to see more scalp on top than you used to, then this video is for you. Because right now, the clock's running out. The hair is getting weaker, thinner, and if you wait too long, it might never grow back. So let me show you exactly what I would do in 30 days. Real quick, before we get into it, I'm doing free consultations right now. We look at your situation, figure out exactly which mistakes you're making, and how to fix them. Links below. A few months ago, my wife caught my hair thinning before I did. I was recording a video, and she walked in, looked at me, and said the words, "Every man my age dreads." "Babe, your hair's getting thin." My first thought was, nah, not me. There's no way. She tripping. But deep down, I already knew she was right. I just didn't want to say it out loud. So I stopped recording, jetted to the bathroom, and I really started to look at my scalp. And there it was. I'm like, oh man, I'm thinning, and I'm thinning fast. Now here's the thing. I do this for a living. I'm the guy who fixes other people's hair. So standing there, staring at my scalp, I felt like a fraud. So I put my scope on my own scalp first to see what was going on underneath my hair. It was white crust caked around the follicles. Now, most people see that and they think dry scalp, a little bit of dandruff, no big deal. It's not. It's buildup, a waxy layer sitting on top of the scalp, sealing everything off. When your scalp's covered in that, anything you put on top of it can't even get through it. It's like trying to paint a wall that's covered in grease. It just slides right off. That buildup acts as a shield. It locks the bad stuff in and keeps the good stuff out. So every guy out here rubbing a growth serum into a scalp like this, you're wasting it. And washing doesn't fix it either. Your shampoo handles the sweat and dirt. It doesn't touch this. And I get why we skip this part. You see, you want to do something you can see. Every video, every comment, just put this on it. So you keep layering product on top of a scalp that was never cleared. The money you're spending is just landing on crust, not the scalp. The whole first stretch is about stripping that buildup off and getting the scalp back to a clean place. So anything I do after it actually has a shot at reaching the root. So for the first 7 days, I'll focus only on clearing the scalp. Now we'll get back to my story soon, but first, let me tell you about a client I have called Maurice. Maurice came to me out of Baltimore, and he had been at this a while. He was putting in the work, staying consistent, doing his routine, but his hair just wasn't filling in. And the first thing that I saw when I looked at his scalp wasn't his hair. It was the scalp itself. It was shiny, and not a healthy shine. It was like glossy and a little irritated. He had dandruff too. So when he would scratch his hair, he would have flakes in his nails. The skin on his forehead was broken out. And most of us never think twice. So here's a guy staying consistent, doing the work, and nothing's growing. The question is why? Why, Craig? Why? That shine right there wasn't the answer. A shiny scalp is not a healthy scalp. A shiny scalp is inflammation that blocks growth and restricts blood flow. And he was trying to grow hair on top of all that. So before I stimulate a single thing, I calm the scalp all the way down. No dermastamp, no rolling, no scrubbing, nada. You calm it first. Then you earn the right to stimulate it. And Maurice's proof. We fixed the scalp first, the dandruff cleared up, the shine was gone, and the barrier was healthy enough for hair growth. And once the foundation was solid, the hair finally started coming. That bare patch at his crown started to close up. That thin strip down the middle of his scalp filled in and started to connect. So for the second week, I'll be focusing only on calming the scalp down. We're just 2 steps in the 30 days, and we're still building the ground. But the scalp's only half of it. Some of you can nail everything I said and still stall out because the next problem isn't sitting on your scalp. It's sitting under it. Now, let me tell you about another client. I call him Calvin. Calvin's out of Charlotte, about to turn 30. And this man has changed his whole life to get healthier. He went fully plant-based, cleaned up his whole diet. He was making his hair oils at home. He picked up a derma roller. He was doing stuff. But 3 years in, his hairline was still thinning. And on top of his head was thinning too. He couldn't really tell if any of what he was doing was working. Here's what was really going on. And all that time, Calvin never really checked what was happening underneath. He never tested what was actually going on inside the body, what he was actually low on. So he was guessing. He was changing his diet. He was throwing oils on his scalp. He was throwing other products on his scalp. And all this was just guesswork. When you go plant-based and you're not watching your nutrients closely, you can end up short on the exact things your hair needs to grow. And vitamin D is the first in line. And I get it. Testing isn't sexy. There was a 2024 review out of Mahaido University. They published in Frontiers in Nutrition. They pulled together 81 studies and more than 15,000 people with hair loss. In the men with male pattern hair loss, almost half of them were low on vitamin D. So in week 3, I'll be getting my vitamin D tested. And then if it's low, I'll correct it. But make sure you click that link below because one, you need to know what you need to test. And you need to know what exactly those numbers need to be. But there's one thing that'll quietly undo all of it. It's not on your scalp. It's not in a bottle. It's what you're walking around carrying every day. Last one, I call him Jelani. Jelani's 21. He's a university student. And here's the thing. This wasn't the first time he was losing his hair. Years back, in his final year of high school, he went through a brutal streak of final exams. And he lost a small patch on both of his corners. He threw some oils on it and it grew back. He had no problems. He didn't think about it again. He just kept going his way. Then recently, it happened again. He was deep in exams, barely sleeping, 4-5 hours a night, barely eating, and his relationship was falling apart at the exact same time. After that stretch, both of his temples were thinning. And this was more than he had lost before. So he figured, okay, it's stress again. I'll bounce back like last time. But this time, it didn't bounce back. And we all do this. We treat stress like it's just part of life. Just like taking a bath or taking a shower. We made it so normal that it just becomes like background music. And we treat it like it's not actually doing any damage. But nobody has ever told you that your hairline is paying the bill for it. But when your body's under real stress, it turns into survival mode. It routes everything your body needs to the heart, the liver, the lungs, and it stops sending nutrients to your hair. So your hair stops growing. You can't grow hair on a body that's thinking it's fighting to survive. So I treat stress like it's part of the plan, not something you just push through. Whatever actually helps bring yours down, that's the work. Because when you calm the system down, the scalp gets fed again. Now, for Jelani, the great news is that he caught it early. His scalp was healthy and his follicles were still responsive. 30 days after I noticed the thinning, I'm in my barber's chair. He lifts those clippers. He stops. He looks. He like, damn, B, your hair really coming back, boy? I ain't even say anything. I just smiled because I knew exactly why. Now you know what I do to grow my hair. Clear the buildup, calm the scalp, test your vitamin D, get the stress off your back. That's your foundation. But the foundation alone won't grow it back. There's one more thing every black man has to get right once the ground is set. And it's the piece most guys never figure out on their own. Watch this next video and I'll break it down.